will cover IGCSE 921, which is Edexcel May 2023 Computer Science Paper 1, and the total mark for this paper is 80. So before continue with the questions, we have a batch opening for Edexcel, which is Edexcel IGCSE. The batch for A and A2 both batch will be for 2025 because we don't have any session for October. Whereas for ICT we have both session. We have a session for October 24 and May 25, so there will be a batches opening for both. And for Edexcel Computer Science, there is a batches opening for 2025 due to we don't have any session for October. So if you want to reach me out, please contact me on WhatsApp or email. So let's continue with the question number 1, which is people use network in all aspect of their life. An office building has desktop computer connected in a network. One reason for networking computers is to enable technician to maintain them remotely, right? State 2 other reason for connecting computer in a network. So the thing is that why we want to connect our computer to the network, right? So there will be a many reason we want to connect it to the network so that we can communicate with our friends and family through email, social media, and how we will communicate with all these things so that we can access the internet. So the answer for this question will be so it will be better to write as a text compared to writing. So the answer for 1 will be access the internet, right? And the second one will be provide communication, such as it will give us the access so that we can communicate, right? Such as email, can be social media, and online meeting. This one is optional. If you want, you can write. Now, question number B is access to data must be controlled, right? Identify one reason that encryption is used. So we have to identify one reason why we need to that encryption is used, right? Why we need to use the encryption. So here it is saying that to compress the file so it takes less up. No, encryption is not compressing our file, right? To make sure both sender and receiver use the same key. For the encryption technique, both receiver and sender don't have the same key, they have a different key, right? To make sure data is only understood by the intended receiver to stop malicious hacker to getting into the software. So there is nothing related to computer network or stop malicious hacker, something like that. So the answer will be question number C, is because to make sure the data is only understood by the intended receiver. That means who will receive the data, only they can able to understand what is it inside that file. Okay, so the answer for this question will be question number C. Now move to question number 2, which is file server are in a small room at the back of an office. The office has a burglar alarm. Give 2 other ways that the servers can be secured using physical method. So for the physical way, you have to think how you can make it more secure, how to make this file server more secure, right? There is one alarm attached so that if there is something happen, the alarm will ring. But beside that, what can be this physical way we can provide the security? Just think. And one of the physical security that we provide, one is a CCTV camera, right? The other one, they can attach a biometric security so that people can enter on that particular room by using their facial recognition or fingerprint. Next question is phishing is a type of social engineering. State what is mean by the term social engineering. So social engineering is actually, it means that when you join number of community in your Facebook or WhatsApp, there's a different places, right? So some people, they're targeting some of the people in a social engineering way, that is they will behave with you so good that you will be able to reveal some of the sensitive information to them. So their main target is to get some sensible information from you, so their behavior will be so good at first to get that information from the targeted user. So the answer will be human behaviors to get people to reveal sensitive information. Okay. Then come to question number C, which is 5G is a communication standard. Identify the characteristics that is true for the 5G communication standard. Right. So the what is the true, including like inside there is a four option, which is the A, B, C, D. So number A is saying that it has a high transmission latency. It has built-in security, because built-in security both have the built-in security, not only the 5G, right? 4G, 3G both have the built-in security. It has a lower bandwidth than 3G and 4G. No, this is also not right. It uses wireless communication. Yeah, that one is right. It uses wireless communication. So the answer will be question number D. Now move to question number D, which is programmers write code and test code, right? They write the code and then after that they test it, so that whatever they write, is it okay or not? So they use modular testing. State what is mean by the term modular testing. So during the time of development for any type of software or any website, what the developer do that they write the code and they test it. So basically most of the time what they do, they write or complete the whole software. After that they try to test it. After they completing the creating of the whole software, then they try to test it. Okay, but for the modular testing is like when we are doing the coding, there is one of the function we have to add. There's a lot of function we have to add, right? Function is like if we want to click one of the button, like if I click here one of the button, right, it will give me a number of options. So this is one of the function. So what they do, after the writing this code, they test this one before moving to another features. So this is one of the thing that is called modular testing. So modular testing is testing each part of the code or program separately as it's written or completed, right? So when they completed one of the features, one of the function, they test it and then they move it to other features. Is testing each part of the code or program separately as it's written or completed, right? So when they are written or completed, they just test it at that point. So they are not waiting to complete the whole software then move to the testing part. Then the question number E is computer scientists are viewed as professional in the same way the doctor are viewed as professional. So give two ways that computer scientists can demonstrate professionalism, right? So for these things, if you think about the doctor, what doctor have to do? They have to stay up to date with changes in their field, right? They have to read a lot of books and everything so that they will be updated with the latest type of health issues. But for a computer scientist or software engineer, whatever they are, they have to do the similar things. Why? Because our technology is changing each and every day. So the people who are working on computer or the people who are actually a software engineer, they have to stay up to date with the latest technology. So that means they have to stay up to date with changes in the field by reading the latest publication. That means they have to read a number of articles, number of publication, right? What type of new coding are coming, and what type of, like ChatGPT is one of the new features for technology. So this type of thing they have to must learn and understand how these things is working. And what can be the other reason? The other reason is when a particular person is become a doctor, a professionalism, right, they have to teach other student, to train them or educated them, right? So this is one of the thing that they have to do. They have to secure opportunity for training or education. So they have to do train and educate other students or other people. So the answer of this question will be, this one will be the answer. Number one will be stay up to date with changes in the field by reading the latest publication and securing opportunities for training or education, right? This is the end of question number one. Now we'll move to question number 2. Question number 2 is computer manipulate binary pattern. People interpret those patterns. Question number A is complete the table by adding the hexadecimal notation for each of the denary values. So we have to convert this denary to hexadecimal. For this one, I think you guys know there is one of the chart, the easier one. Just I show you one of the demo. So the thing is that, so if I draw a chart, like this is all are my denary value, okay, and these are my hexadecimal value. I just write it as a short. And then we all know when it's 0 in hexa it's 0, when it's 1 in hexa it's 1, right? 2 hexa 2, 3 hexa 3, 4 this one also 4, 5 this one also 5, sorry 5, 6 means 6, 7 means 7, 8 means 8, 9 means 9, but 10 means here in hexa it's A. Then 11 mean, sorry, in denary 11 mean in hex it's B. 12 means C. 13 means D. 14 E, and 15 is F, right? After 16 it come to 10 again. So that means they ask us what will be the answer for 8 and what will be the answer for 12. So 8 will be 8 and 12 is C. So if we move to our question, that means this one for number, this one will be 8 and this one will be 12, right? Sorry, not 12, this one will be C. Question number C is binary pattern are manipulated by shifts, okay? Give the result of applying a logical shift right by 2 to the binary pattern this. So when it comes to logical shift, it always add 0. When it comes to arithmetic shift, it always add 1, right? So for this one, if they are mentioning that 2 up to the binary pattern, right? So 2, that means we have to add 2 0 to the right side and shift left, shift right. So it will shift to the right. So we have to add 2 to the left. That means what happened? We have to add this 2 0 here, 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 0, right? So when I will add this 2, this 2 will go out. So what happened? If I combine these things, then it will be, I just remove this, then this will be 0 0 0 1 0 and then triple 1, right? For this one, same thing, but here we will add 1 because it is an arithmetic shift and they're saying there will be 3 to the binary pattern. So here what we have to do, we have to just add 3 1 and then this is the 0 0 0 1 0 1, right? So when we will add this 3 here, what will be the answer? The answer will be 1 1 1 1 1, and from this 3 we'll cut out, right? And 1 0, this one will be the answer. Okay, so question number 6 is binary pattern can be interpreted as assigned or unsigned integer. Convert the denary unsigned integer to 8-bit binary, right? So we have to change denary 60 to 8-bit binary. So when we are shifting denary 60 to binary, what we will do, we just need to divide it by 60, sorry 2. So when we divide it by 2, it will give us the result 30, but the remainder is 0, sorry. Now when we again divide it by 2, they give us the value 15, but the remainder is 0. Again divided with by 2, they give us the answer 7, but the remainder will be 1, right? Then you again just divide it by 2, it will go there 3 times, so the answer will be, it will go 2 to 3 6, right? But the remainder will be 1. Now again divided by 2, now 2 will go here 1 time and the remainder will be 1, right? Now what we'll do, try to add the whole number from bottom to up like this way. So we will take this one first, then this one. So and the answer will be 1 1 1 1 and then 0 0. Sorry for my writing, but the thing is here, this is if we count this one 1 2 3 4 5, this one is 6-bit, but we need 8-bit binary. So when this type of question just come, just add 2 0 at the beginning. So when we are adding 2 0 to the beginning, we are converting this 66-bit binary to 8-bit binary, but it doesn't affect our value, right? So the answer will be 0 0 4 1 and then 0 0, right? This one will be the answer. Now move to question number 2. So question number 2 is D2 is, here is a binary bit pattern for a signed integer in sign and magnitude format, right? Convert the binary pattern to denary. Be sure to include a sign symbol in your answer. That means you have to use a sign which can be negative or positive. And they're saying that this one, they mentioned that there will be no unsigned integer, right? But for this one, they already mentioned that it is a signed integer. So based on that, please add the sign thing. So for this one, we need to do some calculation here. If we go to here, the question is, this will be the number that we have to convert, right? 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0. This one we have to convert to denary. So for that thing, when it comes to 1 at the first, because they mention about the sign thing, right? So when it comes to 1, that means it represent negative sign. Okay, so we take 1 as the symbol of our sign. So 1 represent negative sign. So what will be the remaining number? The remaining number is 0 0 1 0 1 1 0. Now we have to shift it to denary. So how to shift it to denary? We'll take this one first. So if we take this one, for this one we have to start with 0. So this one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2, this one is 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, and now we will go to, so this one is 6, so 0 into 2 to the power 6. Okay, then just close your bracket, plus 0 into 2 to the power 5 plus 1 into 2 to the power 4 plus again 0 into 2 to the power 3 plus 1 into 2 to the power 2 plus 1 into 2 to the power 1 plus 0 into 2 to the power 0, right? Then when whatever we multiply with 0, the answer will be 0. Then this one also 0. This one will be 2 to the power 4 with 1. What will be the answer for this one? So maybe we can just add 1 into 2 to the power 4. Just add, right? This one also 0. This one we can add 2 to the power 2. So it will be plus this one 2 to the power 1 is 2, right? Plus 0. So the answer, if we calculate the answer will be 22. And they ask us to get the sign. So it will be negative 22, right? So here the answer will be convert the binary pattern to denary. So you have to convert. I already cover you the answer. Just write here. I'm just writing here 22. You just include the calculation as well because they are providing you 2 marks. Number 3 is negating a sign integer means changing its sign without changing its value. That means we have to changing the sign. Negation. The negation of plus 16 is minus 16. The negation of minus 24 is plus 24, right? So here is the binary pattern for a sign integer in 2 complement format. So this one can be the negative 1 because at first there is a 1. Convert the binary pattern to its negation into complement. That means we have to shift it to similar like positive 1, but both of the binary value represent same thing. Like if it's represent 24, that value also represent 24. So what we have to do, we just need a calculation. I just go through a bit detail so you guys will understand how this things is working. And for this one you don't need to write everything, just answer it as a type of 2 mark answer. Okay, so if I go to the question, they are saying that we need to convert this one, right? Which one? The number is 111000101. So if I go here, then the number that we have to do is a 111000101 that we have to convert. So this one is represent 0, but first step that we will do, step 1, we will follow is we will invert all the bits. So what is the meaning of invert? Invert is just change it to opposite one. So when there is a 1, change it to 0. When there is 0, change it to 1. Replace it with 1. So it will be similar like that. If we invert, it will be 111000101, right? So when we invert it, it will be 000110110. Then we have to add 1 to the result. So the step 2 will be add 1. So when it comes to add 1 to the binary, how we do the addition? So this one will be the number. So 000111010, right? So when we add, we take all 0, only the last one will be 1. So it will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 0. 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 0, and there is 1. And then when we add this whole thing, it will just replace this 11011. So it will be similar like 000111011. So that means without this it will replace to 1. This will be the answer. Okay, now so how we get this answer, and why this can be the answer, right? You guys can ask me like why this is be the answer. So for this one, we have to verify like how this things is coming. The question, this one will be the question, right? This one was the question. So if I make it as a yellow color, this one is the question. So if I just convert it to denary, what will be the answer for this one? If you guys convert this, you guys will get a 27, but that one will be minus 27. But the same thing if you apply for this one, 000111011, you will get a positive 27. So that means the same thing that is provided in our example, that is above the question papers, right? Above the question, like this one was the one of the example. So this is the same thing is happening, because I'm saying that this will be the answer. So how this will be the answer? Must be this one is negative, so this must be positive. So when we convert these to denary, we get the answer as a positive 27. So you guys can ask me how you will get the 27. That one is actually simpler, the same way. This one is starting from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So this one will be 2 to the power 7, 2 to the power 6, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 4, 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 2, 1, and 2 to the power 0. So when you multiply each of the power with the power and then add, after that you will get it 27. So just 2 to the power, this one will be the 27 plus 2 to the power 6 into 0. So whenever we are multiply anything with 0, it will be 0. 2 to the power 5 into 0, it will also be 0. So plus 2 to the power 4 into 1, we'll get a value here. Then 2 to the power 3 into 1, we will get value here as well. This one will continue here. Then 2 to the power 1 will be 1 plus 0 into 2 to the power 0. So you just calculate everything, then you will get the answer as a 27. So the answer for this one is 000011011, right? So the answer for this one will be 000111011. Done. Now move to question number E, which is construct an expression to convert 13 kilobyte to KB bytes. You do not need to do the calculation. First of all, what we have to do, we just have to think about how we can remove this kilo we want to remove this kilo, and then there will be only byte, so it will be easier for us. Then we'll change it to kibi. So that means the first thing is we have a 13 kilobyte, right? Kilobyte. So how to remove this kilo? For that one we have to add 13 into 1000, because we know kilo means 1000, right? Now it becomes byte. Okay, now we want to add kibi here. So kibi means 1024. So for the kibi we have to add 13,000, because this one is in byte, right? Hold this thing. So divided by, if we divide it by 1024, then we will get it as a kibi byte. Okay, so this one will be the answer. So this is the end of question number 2. Now we will move to question number 3. Number 3 is software programs carry out tasks on computers. So a number question is mentioning that a head teacher uses a computer simulation to model the effect of increasing class sizes. Explain one problem using a simulation to predict the effect of changes. So this one is they actually mean about the AR. So the people are actually wearing the AR headset, and based on that they will increases the class size, something like that. The head teacher is thinking something like that. So they are saying that inside the question that you have to identify one of the problem that can affect. So because this type of things we need a lot of data. Okay, if the data number of data are not that much uh, bigger, then the drawn of the model are not that much accurate. Because for this type of visualization and everything like data machine learning or maybe data science, for this type of thing we need a huge amount of data, and the data must be accurate. So if there is something happen to the data accuracy, or maybe if the data is incomplete, then the conclusion drawn from the model are not accurate. So the answer for this one will be, answer is, if the data is incomplete or inaccurate, the conclusion drawn from the model may not be accurate. Okay, then question number B is, images are stored as files before being displayed or printed. Give one measurement of image resolution. So how we measure the image? We measure image by using pixel, right? So pixel per inch is one of the thing that we use for measuring the image, or it can be pixel per centimeter also. Okay, if you guys write dots per inch, that one is also correct. Answer for this question will be pixels per inch. B2 is, increasing the color depth of an image leads to an increase in the image file size. Describe the reason for the increase in file size. So that means when the pixel of the image is increases, it requires more bits, right? So when it requires more bits, we all know bits is actually the storage of an image, right? So when it take more bits to store, that means obviously the file size will be increases. So the answer for this one will be, is each pixel in the image will require more bits to store. So storing each pixel or color in the image will demand a greater number of bits. Okay, so now move to question number C, which is, software is divided into two categories. Describe one difference between system software and application software. So the thing is that for the system software, ensure the operation of the hardware. So system software is the operating system, right? Whereas application system is deal with the user. So it enable user to perform task. One of the example of application software is calculator, right? Web browser like Chrome, Firefox. This is one of the example of application software. Whereas this system software is a example of a operating system, which is Windows. So the answer will be, system software ensures the operation of the hardware, while application software enable user to perform tasks. Now move to question number D, which is, here is an image of secondary storage. Which is the secondary storage? Secondary storage is our SSD or HD, right? HDD. So this one is two files, W2 and Z, are stored on it. Each file is made up of several blocks, Z1, Z2, similar like that. And then complete the image to show the state after running a defragmentation utility. So that means they did some defragmentation, and after the defragmentation, what will be the answer, like how it will look like. Okay, So what happened when we do the uh, without defragmentation, if we when we are saving some of the file into our computer, they are just saving the file wherever they are getting their space, similar like that. Okay, they are not organize it in a order by position. So here they when people are user are trying to save any of the file, they just try to save the file each of the location where the PC find that it is available, or they don't need to do anything, just file, just save the file, and then it is showing that the file is saving far away from WZ1, the W2 is the far away from the 4 block, similar like that. So after when we do the defragmentation, what it do, it actually organize all the file order by like one by one. So what happened, so when it is organizes the file one by one, it actually increases the speed of the PC. So we always need to do the defragmentation each and every week, so it help our PC to run faster. Okay, so the answer for this one will be, it can be here, which one is the W1, W2, W3, W4, right? So you guys can add Z, Z1, Z2, Z3, that one also okay. Can add W1, W2, W3, that one also okay. But just remember one thing, that we have to organize each of the block of the file one by another. So that means the W, this one will be the W1, this one will be W2, W3, and then W4 for the Z, Z1, Z2, Z3, right? So this one will be Z1, Z2, and then Z3. That will be the answer. So now move to question number E, which is, here is part of a file that contain electric meter reading. So explain the effect on the file of applying a run length encoding algorithm to its data file. So what will be the what will happen when we applying a run length encoding algorithm to this electric meter reading? So this one is actually one of the technique or one of the algorithm that is applied for a certain type of reading for encrypting the data. Okay, but here the thing will be, what will happen if we apply this type of algorithm to here. So if we look closely, we can see that 505 or 0513 is not there, 577248 is not there, 83. So the similar pattern or the repetitive pattern are not that much, right? So what happened, the file size won't get smaller because there aren't many repeating software. Means when we get a repeated number of meter reading inside the data that we are getting for doing the run length encoding, for that one, if the number of data is repeated, which will decreases the file or increases the file. But if you look carefully, we don't have that much repeated data here. That means it will not decrease or increase our data. So that means why it will not do that, our data will not our file size won't get smaller because there are not many repeating pattern. So the answer for this question will be the file size won't get smaller because there are not many repeating pattern. Now move to question number F, which is, a series of tasks is written in different programming language. Complete the table to show the correct programming language translator for each task. So we have to identify the type of translator that is applicable for each of the tasks. So here the first thing is a guessing game that can be used on different computing platform, right? So for that thing we can use interpreter. So for the translators later, there is a three type of translator are there. One is the interpreter, another one is assemble, and the other one is a compiler. So what is the assembler and compiler? So interpreter is actually that no need to convert. It can directly applicable, or it can directly workable, like for the game one, if it can be used for different computing platforms. So whenever, like, if I download one of the chess game into my Windows, it will be workable at that computer. If I download the same thing on Mac, also it will be workable on Mac as well. So this type of thing is called interpreter, whereas assemble is actually that convert low level language to binary, which computer can understand, because our computer can only understand binary, right, which is a bit 0 and 1. And assembler is uses when we are transforming the low level language to computer as a binary. So the assembler low level language is actually the way computer is actually interact with the hardware, right? So when we click on the mouse, it's showing that okay, someone click on the mouse. This is a similar example of a low level language. Whereas if I talk about compiler, compiler is actually convert high level language to binary. So for that thing, we need compiler, and high level language consider Python, C++, JavaScript, right? This is the high level language. So I hope you understand, guys, what's the difference between compiler, interpreter, and assembler. So for guessing game, they are mentioning that we can use a different computing platform. So that means here it will be interpreter. A screen reader for a new smartphone, right? A screen reader for a new screen driver. Sorry, they are mentioning about a driver. So obviously it must be assembler, because I mentioned that assembler convert low level to computer language, which is a binary. So this one will be assembler. A new version of a spreadsheet program for sale next year. So this one is showing that it is a software which is a spreadsheet program. For that one, a new version also they mentioned, right? And it will be sale for the next year. So what happened, obviously, when they are creating a program, they obviously need a code which can be Python, C++, or JavaScript, right? For that thing, we need compiler, because it is a high level language. And the last one is control software for an embedded system inside a new washing machine. So this one is actually the same thing, where hardware and computer interacting with each other. There's nothing about high level language. So that's why this one is represent assembler. So the answer for this one will be the answer, and this is the end of question 3. Now we'll move to question number 4. Question number 4 is data packets travel across network from one devices to another. Okay, so number A is asking identify the measurement of network speed. So compared to this 4, which one is actually define the network speed? So this one is maybe byte per second, and maybe bits per second. This one is maybe byte per second, right? And bits per second and megabyte per second. So maybe bits and is that mega giga. If we use mega giga, this is mostly uses for speed. Okay, but when we use what is maybe or GB, this is actually not uses for speed. This one is mostly uses for storage capacity. So when we are trying to say that this file size, that time we use mostly this. So that means they are using maybe AB. So this two is not the answer, right? When it comes to this two, megabits per second and megabyte per second, for these things, megabits per second, mega is uses for speed, it's correct, but here mega is also uses for speed. This one is correct. Now come to the difference between bits and bytes. So the thing is that bits can be measured per second, whereas byte per second cannot be measured. So that's why the answer will be question number C. Now question number B is data packets contain the address of the sender and the receiver. Complete the table to give the number of bits that make up each type of network address. Okay, so this one is an IPv4, this one is IPv6 number of bits. So this one is actually a general knowledge. When it comes to IPv4, it uses 32 bit. When it's come to IPv6, it is uses 128 bit, right? So this one will be 32, this one will be 128. 128. Done. Now, data packet travels over physical media. Describe one difference between the media used by a wired network and a wireless network. So the thing is that here we have to give the one difference between the media. They mention about the media. Media can be air, media can be copper, right? Media can be copper, can be optic fiber, similar like that. So this is called media. So used by a wired network and a wireless network. So what will be the answer for this one? The answer for this one will be wired network, packet travel through copper or fiber optic cables, whereas a wireless network, packet travel through the air, right? Now move to, some people confuse Ethernet and Wi-Fi. Describe what is the term Ethernet. So the thing is that a wired network or connection, Ethernet is actually a wired network, right? So the wire that we are connected to our laptop or PC from the router, we connect it to the router and then we connect it to our PC. So this is a wire type of network. It refers to the physical part like the type of cable such as twisted pair or Cat6. So this is one of the example of Ethernet cable. So the answer for this question will be wired network or connection. It refers to the physical parts like the type of cable such as a twisted pair or Cat6. Now number D is, a single physical box connect a desktop computer to the internet. The box incorporates three different components. Complete the diagram to show the show the name of the component in the correct order. So here we have to identify how the three component is connected to the internet. Okay, so there will be the three things included. So here, which is mostly, you know, mostly nearer to the internet, that one is modem. And from the laptop side, the most nearer devices is switch. So and this one is switch, this one is modem, but inside we need router, right? So the thing is that what the switch is working, if I say, it's like when this one is the computer, right? The nearer devices is switch. So switch, what switch is do? Switch is actually taking the MAC address of the devices and then it transfer it to the router. This one is actually present at the data link layer, which is a OSI model layer 2. And then when it transfer it to the router, the work for the router is router identify the IP address where this type of file or the data need to be sent. And after that, modem is the one which actually connect internet service provider to the home network. So that's it. This is a single thing. So the answer for this one will be switch. So switch is actually nearer to the MAC address. So MAC address is connected to our laptop or PC, and this is a MAC address is actually we can't able to change it because it is a physical thing, right? And then it forwarded to the router. So router help us to identify the IP address where the specific data will go, and modem help us to connect home network to the internet service provider. That's it. Now move to question number E, which is enter password when logging onto a network and creating account using a web page, right? Okay. Explain one difference between validation and authentication. So what is the meaning of validation and authentication? So validation is actually check that the password that provided by the user is actually that much validable or not, because nowadays the hacker can easily able to guess the password if the password is not that much strong. So what happen if you go to the Gmail or any of the social media and you create an account during that time when you provide a password, if your password are not that much strong, they always mention the password are not that much strong, right? Added a special letter, add a number, similar like that. So this is a type of validation. So they validate that the password is good enough or not. While the authentication is actually confirm that you are the real user or not. So authentication is actually happening after we do the registration, when we are trying to log into our social media. That time we provided the password that we used during the time of creating our social. social media account, right? So during the login time, when we are putting our password, that time what happened, the password is sent to the server, and then server check through the database is like the whatever the password I submitted, is it the actual password that I used during the create of that account. Okay, so they are actually valid authenticate using that thing. So the answer for this question will be, authentication checks if a password is good enough, while authentication confirms if users are really who they say they are, right? So this is the end of question number 4. Now we will move to question number 5. Hardware device execute program to carry out a variety of tasks. So number A question is saying that a program control a big character in an animation. The bee can turn to face north, east, south or west. The bee can move any number of steps in the direction it is facing. So that means where it is facing, it will go to that direction. Complete the diagram to show one input and one output required to move the bee. So this is actually a general question. Okay, when you are guys are play the game, you already play some of the game related to car racing, right? So there you can change the direction of the car, and based on that the car are moving or running, right? So here what is the input? The input is you are the one who is responsible to provide the direction of the bee, where the bee will face, right? So it will be enter the direction the bee will face, and the process is like calculate the path the bee will move along to its new position. So the process is calculating what will be the new position and what will be the output. The bee faces its new direction, right? This is the output because you shift your bee's head to left to right, and then the process is work, calculate, and it shift bee left to right, and you get the output that the bee faces is changes to its new direction. So the answer for this one will be enter the direction the bee will face. Bee faces its new direction. Now computer are made up of hardware component. We all know about that, right? So computer complete the diagram by adding directional arrow between the component to show the flow of communication. So how the communication is happening using these boxes. So this one is quite easier because CPU are not doing anything with the mouse, right? Mouse is also click and do everything with the CPU. So that means mouse is doing the communication. So from mouse the data is always go to the CPU, right? So from there speaker are not responsible to provide anything to the CPU, but CPU is responsible to provide the sound and everything to the speaker, and based on that the speaker are actually provided the sound. But for the USB drive, what happened to the USB device? USB device is actually the data is going, and then from the CPU also the data is there is input and output, both are included with the USB devices. So it should be one and like this. Okay, now identify what is stored in ROM. So what is stored in ROM? The software firewall. No, software firewall is we need software, right, for the firewall. The basic input output system, the operating system is needed in ROM, but the thing is that it is actually needed when it's boot up, right? When it is booted, like when it is opening, during that particular time the operating system is loaded. The user interface code is also the same one, but here the answer will be the basic input and output system is stored in ROM, because when we are clicking on the turn on button of our computer, it's opening our computer screen, right? So this is one of the thing, the basic input and output system is stored in ROM. Cache is used as temporary storage. One type of cache is located between main memory and the CPU. Explain one reason cache is used in the computer. Okay, so cache is actually one of the faster memory that we all know. So what happened when we are providing any of the tasks to our CPU, what the CPU is do, they fetch the data from the RAM or for that time they have to wait, and then they fetch the data from the RAM, and then after that they start their processing or the working. Okay, so but the some of the tasks we do frequently, right? So for that reason, what the cache do, they identify what of the tasks we do frequently in our daily lives, so they store that type of data in cache. So what happens when we are trying to do that type of particular task, it will be more faster compared to the task we don't do. So when you guys are using computer, always, like, look careful about these things. Like some of the software you use frequently each and every day, you see that type of software is load much more faster, whereas some of the software you are not using that much, like after 2 or 3 months when you start to open that particular software, you will notice that that software will take much more time to open compared to the type of software that you are using regularly. So this is one of the example of a cache. It speeds up processing because frequently used instruction and data are kept closer to the CPU. Now, question number C is: a washing machine uses several different embedded system, right? We all know that a washing machine uses embedded system, and embedded system are mostly can focus on one task, right? They can't able to do multiple tasks. They just focus on one task to do. So one embedded system uses a switch to identify the type of wash cycle selected by the user. So they already provided you one of the example. Describe one other example of an embedded system found in a washing machine. So what can be the other embedded system? Inside the washing machine, just think about from your perspective, from your knowledge. In a washing machine, when we start the washing machine, they have a certain level of water, right? So the washing machine have a sensor to identify, okay, the level of the water reach at the desired point. So after that it stop, and then it uses a motor to spin the drum as well, because the drum is rotating during the time of it washes the clothes. So you guys can write each any of the thing that I mentioned between two. So I will write one thing, which one is uses a motor to spin the drum. Now the question number D is: program use logic statement to control physical hardware. Okay, so number one is: the window shuts when the temperature is too cold or it is a rainy night. So a window is closed when the temperature is too cold or rainy night. The value are as defined as: A shows it is night time, B shows it is too cold, C shows it is raining, right? Complete the truth table to show the result for each operation. 2 rows have been done for you. So they'd already done 2, 4. So you all know that 0 actually represent false and 1 represent true, right? And means, when it comes to and, that means both sides need to be true. A and B both need to be true. Then the and will be true. Otherwise and won't be true. And for the all, out of 2, if 1 is true, then it will take that one. Okay, or represent any of that true is okay. But for the and, it will be true from the both side. Remember these things. Now we will calculate this part of the table. The first thing is they're saying A and C, so we have to look careful about this A and C. Okay, and they are saying that false, false, so this one is false, right? Now it comes to false, true. When it comes to false, true, because and means both need to be correct, true, it's not true, so that means this one also be 0. False, false, which is false. False, true, false, right? False, true, false, again false, but true, true means true, so it will be 1. When it comes to 1, 0, again true, false, so both way are not true, so this one will take 0. So this one will be the answer. Now we will be focusing on A and C or B. So we will be focusing on now B, A and C. Okay, for this one, or, right? So 0 or 0 represents 0. 0 or 0 represents 0. 1 or 0, true or false, but it will take whatever the true is, any. So we are getting the true, so we take the true. So if 1 is true, we'll take it. This one true, false. That means 1 is true, we'll take 1. This one's false, false, so just false. Okay, when there is a 2 0, it must be a 0. 0 1, but we're getting the true, so we'll take 1. 1 0, we'll taking the 1. So this will be the answer. For the and, both must be true, but for or any one, if it's true, we'll take that one. So this way we'll complete the diagram. Now we will move question number 2, which is a warehouse has an automated alarm system. Okay, when the alarm system is activated, it will sound if M, a movement sensor M, is activated, pressure pad is activated. If this M and P is activated, then the sound will ring. But if a key code C to deactivate the alarm system has not been entered, so this one must be deactivated. Construct a logic statement using an, or, and not with the letter MP and C, similar like that. So what is the meaning of not actually? The not is if they are asking you not C. Okay, not C. What will happen? Not C. Don't write this one. This one is actually added as an example. For not C, whatever the C we have, it will be the opposite. If C has 0, it has 1. If C is 1, it will be 0. If C is 0, it will be 1. Similar like that. Not means it will take the opposite of the value of the C or B, whatever they are giving us in the exam. So the answer for that one will be that one. Just think about when the system will activate. System will activate if this one is activate, this one is activate, right? So that means it can be M, it can be M or P. This one, if these two are activated, then the sound will alarm. But a key code C to deactivate the alarm system has not been entered. So C is not, if they are not entered the C key code, then it will be, the sound will be alarming, right? So for that one, it will be not C. Not C. So now we have to think this and this both must be true. So how to add the true? I always mention for both must be true, we need to include and here. So the answer will be this: M or P and not C. If you guys want to add a bracket also okay. If you don't want to add the bracket, that one also okay. So now the question number E is a computer with a single CPU runs several processes at the same time. This computer is multitasking. Describe how the operating system enable processes to share a single CPU. The thing is that they are saying that this computer is multitasking. Actually, the thing is that computer can't able to do the multitask at a one time. What they do, they are just scheduling each of the tasks based on their priority. So the particular task is higher priority, they try to complete that one faster, and then the other tasks are on the waiting list. So based on the priority, they are solving each of the tasks. So here the answer will be the operating system uses a scheduler to manage processes. Some processes are given higher priority than other, right? Based on that, they are completing their multitasking process. And we will move to question number 6, which is the last question. So here it is saying that programmers share algorithm with different people and write algorithm for different reason. So algorithm is actually the logic, okay, whatever we're saying. So it is like if you go for the vending machine, the logic is when the user enter a certain amount of product name or product code, it will give the price of the product, maybe something like that. Okay, then after when the user enter the button, the vending machine will ask for the price or calculate the amount of price the user will give, and this is one of the algorithm. So a programmer is showing a new algorithm to a group of non-technical managers. So that means a programmer, they are showing that algorithm to a new group of non-technical means the people who are not from technical background. So state an appropriate method for writing the algorithm, justify your answer, method and justification. So what is this? Like the people who are actually working on code, or the people who are from the CSE background or IT background, it will be easier for them to understand the logic or whatever the system flow in a logical way. Like you guys can add a pseudocode similar like that. But when it comes to when it comes to a non-technical perspective, the person, so for that reason we can use a flowchart, right? Or maybe pseudocode you guys can also use, but in my point of view, I think compared to the pseudocode, flowchart is most reliable way. But if you guys write the pseudocode, that one is also applicable. But in my point of view, I think that people are mostly, good at visualize the thing. So flowchart is actually give the logic in a visualized way, so which actually give the user or the people who are from the non-technical background, it will be easier for them to understand how the logic is more more connected with the system. So because that visual representation are also not depend on the English. But if we use the pseudocode is depend on the English, right? Because some of the user maybe, or the client, they are not, or the manager, maybe they are not that much good in English. So for that reason, I think the best method will be the flowchart. And justification is, it's a visual representation and doesn't depend on the English language. So sorry about some of the time my English are not that much great, because during the time I explain, it's quite hard for me to remember the grammar. So really sorry for that thing. Now come to the question number B, which is figure 1 shows an algorithm that display a string based on the number input by the user. Okay, so this is actually a pseudocode, right? Send similar like that, receive, not pseudocode, sorry, this one is actually a pseudocode based code. Okay, so the thing is that pseudocode, this one, okay, give one reason why the selection statement on line 7 is not required. So why we don't need this line number 7? Why we don't need this line 7? Means this portion we don't need. First they're using if number is 1, then it will display first, right? Else, then again they're using if number is 2, then it will display something similar like that. But here the option is only 2, 1 or 2, right? But if the option is 1, 2 or 3, during that time we can use if, else, if, similar like that, 2 then else. But when the option is 2, we don't need else if. It can be similar like that, if number is this, send this, else they can just write this portion, else second, send second to display. Okay, so remember one thing, when the option is 2, we don't need else if. We need else if the option is more than 2. Okay, so the answer for this question will be, in figure 2, it is showing an algorithm that manipulates the array. The algorithm work with any number of score. So they have a set of old scores where 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 are assigned to old score variable, and new score variable are assigned to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and the new index is 0. So that means this is the for loop, one of the algorithm they're using, so that what happened, this one will be assigned to this new score. So we all know that for array, array is always start from 0, right? So here, if we look here, the first, this one will be 0, this one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But when it comes to len, it is always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means all will be 5. It will be the total 5. So what happened? The question is, describe what happened to the variable old index when line 5 is executed. So this one is this one is actually a for loop. Okay, and this one is length of old score. So length of old score is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we'll get a 5, and then there's a -1. So -1. So the answer for this one will be 4, right? So here it will be 4. So that means here during from the first to last bracket it will be 4, and to 0 to -1 do. So from here it is actually -1 each time it is just minus the 1 from the desired point, which is 4. So the answer for this question will be the old value will go from highest to lowest, and the step value is decremented by 1. That means it will be first it will be 4, then it comes to 3, 2, 1 and 0, right? It will be similar like that. So what happened when it will go through like that way? For the here it is set new index to index plus 1, it is setting like that way. So here we have 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, right? And after we run the loop, new index, all the value is assigned to the new index in this way. It will be 50, 40, 30, 20 and 10. So state the purpose of the algorithm in figure 2. This is 1 mark. So it is actually reverse the array of scroll, right? Because it was started from 10 to 50. Now after you running this loop, it will become 50 to 10. So this one is reverse the score. That's it. Now we'll move to the last question, which is cloud storage has become an increasingly popular service. Discuss the benefit and drawback of using cloud storage. Question number 6. Before answering the question number 6, always remember that we have to add a conclusion. Like whatever the answer you will give, based on that you just give a conclusion, okay? Because in merge scheme they mention about there must be a conclusion needed. So for that thing, just think about what can be the drawback and benefit for this particular type of question, and for the cloud storage, right? Because for the cloud storage, there is like we don't need to buy some hard drive, right? We can easily buy the storage from the cloud storage. Like for the Google Drive, if we increase the payment, if we not increase, if we pay the money, we can get a higher number of storage, right? And then the storage are not that much expensive as well. They provide us the security and we also trust them, right? They have more option and they provide more flexible business model. However, what can be the drawback? Now think about the drawback. The drawback is still they provide the security. There is a higher risk of security risk there. It need a high or fast internet, right? Like if you need some of the file, you need internet, but somehow if you don't have the internet, you can't able to access that particular file. It has a more chances that your data can leak, right? It has a more chances that there can be a legal issues, and obviously it is uses power. So in conclusion, the benefit make it more popular. The risks and dependency mean it needs careful management and strong security. So if we are carefully manage everything and we provide a strong password or a strong security, then it will be more beneficial compared to the drawback. So that's it. The answer will be the answer is looking like too small, but it is not so small. Like when you guys are writing it on your paper, it will be more bigger. So the thing is that cloud computing has grown a lot, right? Because of faster internet, cheaper storage, better security, more trust in provider, more service option and flexible business model. However, it has drawbacks like higher security risk, needing fast internet, rely on provider, more chances of data breaches, legal issues and more power use. Overall, while the benefit make it very popular, the risk and dependencies mean it needs careful management and a strong security. So this is the end of question number 6 and end for paper 1. End for the paper 1. So please subscribe and like my channel. Also, I have a Discord channel that you can get the link for the Discord in our description. So please join there. You will get each and every YouTube video update there. And thank you for listening. Please let me know if you don't understand anything.